Hey, welcome guys. Tony Porter, Tabletop Baseball Digest. Early morning, snowed in baseball game here. It's field day baseball between the Mets visiting the Astros. And it's quite a pitching matchup. It's going to be Mike Scott versus Doc Gooden. See what happens. I'm looking forward to a tight game, a pitching duel, but you never know what you're going to get, right? So let's start this off. This is going to be a mostly highlights of the game. I'm going to make a shorty. The last one was about, it was a marathon of 2 hours, and I went deep into lots of different, tabletop baseball topics and discussed some reflections and thoughts and so forth. So this one's going to be a little bit different. You always get something a little bit different from me. I try to keep people on their toes, and let's get started. It's going to be Lenny Dykstra leading off. Now, part of my screen is going to be Digital Diamond Baseball. Of course, on the top you have the scoreboard, and then on the bottom you will have the lineup. On the right you will have the narrative, and let's get started. So it's Lenny Dykstra leading off against Mike Scott. Now, so the stats for Scott are 2 hit, 3 base on balls, 2 home run, and 6 strikeouts. So he's strong on the Ks and does not allow very many hits or home runs. Is about average on the base on balls. For Gooden, he's average on hits and walks, weak or allows few home runs, and is a 5 with K. So he's pretty strong at striking out guys. Let's see what happens. It's really up to the dice. Lenny Dykstra with a 51. That's usually an error roll against Doran. So that's Bill Doran with a 51. He's at second base. So it's 51 applies to 15. And I got to do a video just on the fielding section of the card. So it's a 15. It's very low. As long as you don't get that, it's going to be a bounce out to second base. 1 out. All right, so Dykstra bounces out, and here's Backman with a 32. That's most likely a ground ball and through into the outfield for a base hit for Backman. The 32 is not going to be a steal number for him because it's not shaded. So he's on at first. That's got the 1 on, 1 out, and up comes Keith Hernandez. Now Keith Hernandez in our replay, 293 versus his real life batting average of 290. So, and it's a 61, which will be a swing and a miss. High heat gets him. That'll be a K on Hernandez, and next up is Gary Carter. Pitch to Carter with a 56, and that will be a 3-6 K. He is a 6K, so that's a strikeout, and gets him looking to retire the side. So pretty easy inning for Scott. Did give up that ground ball hit. And here's going to be a guy named Gerald Young, who's a reckless runner, by the way. Got to keep that in mind. It's a 45, 5 or 6 base on balls, and Gooden is only a 3. So we'll go to the number on the right side of the /, which is a fly ball left field. Under it is McReynolds, and that is out number 1. So Gerald Young flies out. Here's Bill Doran with a 32, and that'll be a check swing blooper, and that drops in over the outstretched glove of the shortstop. So it's a single for Doran. He is on at first. He is an X, which is pretty fast. Denny Walling, decent hit and run guy. I got to print out that hit and run chart. Not a good bunter, so we're just going to swing away right now, early in the game. It's a 54, so that's going to take us to the 54 chart. Now, this is probably wild pitch balk pickoff. Goes all the way up to 51. See what happens. So we roll a 26, and that puts us into the pickoff. So Gooden throws the first, and the tag by Hernandez, and he's out. He is out, picked off first base. So we're going to put pick 1, 3, and it should be good. And he is out at first base. So Gooden, so a surprise move, a quick move to first base, totally froze Doran and Walling now. Oh, and I changed the card. Here it is, 31, and that is a bouncer through the middle for a base hit. 31. So Walling, and that is not a possible steal. But Walling is on with a single. And here's Glenn Davis. He is the power hitter for the Astros with 27 home runs, a 251 average. Here's the pitch, and that is a 22, which will be a bouncer to third base. Johnson will go to second for the force, and that will retire the side. All right, Field Day Baseball. Like and subscribe to my channel. We are on the top of the second, and the Mets have two singles, so they have two men on here with one out in the top of the second against Mike Scott, and up comes the bottom of the order, Santana. Pitch to Santana, which is a 56, and that'll be a swing and a miss. Santana goes down on strikes. Chasing a ball outside the zone, and here's Doc Gooden, not much of a card. And the 12 will be a base hit, and there's going to be a throw to the plate with a right field assist, and that is Bass, Kevin Bass from right field. His assist number is a 32, so McReynolds trying to score on the single by Gooden on a 12, and Bass with the throw home and the tag by Ashby, and he is safe. And both runners will move up. So the Mets have gotten onto the scoreboard, and they lead at 1-0. All right, so Lenny Dykstra come up at the plate, leadoff hitter for the Mets against Mike Scott. So Gooden serves his own cause by singling and making it to second base on the throw home on that assist. Here's the pitch, and it's a 46, which will be a base on ball 6, too high. Scott is only a 3, so we go to the right side of that forward slash, and it's a bouncer to the first baseman. And that'll be a G, that's the Davis, and that'll be a G3 to retire the side. Mets do pick up 1 on 3 hits, and it's going to be Kevin Bass leading off in the bottom of the inning. Pitch, and a 42 will be ball 4. So he picks up a walk, shows patience, and Gooden fails to get the ball over at the plate, and here is Cruz, Jose Cruz. Here's the pitch to Cruz, a 34, and that's going to be a 4-6 single, but Gooden is a 3, so that's going to be a possible double play at second base. Now Backman is a W as well, so a 1 or a 2, and it's a double play, and it's a 3, so it's going to be a fielder's choice. So bang to second base and flips to Santana for 1 and no throw, as the runner goes in hard. So it's a G4-6, and that is 1 out here with 1 on. Ashby. And a 45 is a possible base on balls, but too high, and it's a fly ball left field. McReynolds down the line and makes the catch. Flips it to a fan. And with 2 outs now, it is Craig Reynolds. Pitch, and a 25, which will be a 22 or less, a triple. Otherwise, it's a line out. And we roll at 15, and that's going to be a drive down the line into the corner. And coming around to score is Cruz. Going at third is Reynolds. Here's the relay by Backman, the tag by Johnson. Safe on a triple. Holy smokes. That's the second day in a row he's hit a triple. So the game is tied. That 15. Under the roll 25, it was T22, so that means triple 22 or less, and we rolled a 15. So that brings up Mike Scott. Not a great hitter's card. Pitch from Gooden, 51. Oops, that's a possible error by the shortstop Santana. We're going to look that 51 number to 25, so 25 or less. And it's a 23, so he boots it. A run comes in, so it's an E6, runner on third, safe at home. Ouch. Love this game. All right, Gerald Young. The score is 2-1 now. Astros here in the bottom of the second. Gerald Young. Pitch, 33, and that's going to be a base hit. And an X and a Y will advance 2 bases. I don't know that Scott is. Ew, he's a Y, so he will go to third. So it's a single, 2 stars. And we got runners on first and third. And Gooden is struggling to get out of this inning. It is early in the morning, and so I'm trying to be a little bit quiet, yet have some, thrust and energy in my excitement for our game. All right, Bill Doran's up, first and third. Gooden gets a sign from Carter, pitch, and it's a 63, which will be strike 3, and that retires aside. Big curveball goes over, and Doran flails at it way out in front. And here come the Mets in the top of the third. Top of the third, and 2 outs. Runners second and third. Strawberry at second. Backman at third. And here's McReynolds. And here's the pitch to McReynolds. And that's going to be a 54, which is going to be a potential wild pitch. Balk. And it is a 65, which qualifies for a balk. Oh, no. And a run will come in. The other will move to third. So Mike Scott balks. He does have a balk number on there, so he had a balk during the course of the season. And I think 87, 88, they started calling more balks than ever before. And then they went back to not calling them anymore. So McReynolds is still up with a runner on third. The Mets have tied the game with that balk. And here goes. It's a 66. That's a deep drive to left, way back. That ball is out of here. Kevin McReynolds slams one over the fence in left field and gives the Mets a 4-2 lead. Holy smokes, he really got a hold of that one. That kind of sat there over the plate. A meatball wheelhouse pitch that McReynolds jumped all over and drove it deep to left field. And Cruz could do nothing more than just look up. And that will be, let's see, he's got 10. That'll be his 11th home run of the season. And up comes Hojo now. The Mets lead at 4-2. Here's the pitch from Scott with a 44, and that's a 4-6 walk. The walk is a 3, so that'll be a bouncer to short. McReynolds across the diamond, and that retires the side. But the Mets pick up 2 on a big 2-run slam by McReynolds, and it's Denny Walling leading off here in the bottom of the third inning. Pitch 46, and that'll be a base on balls. And that 46 won't be a steal attempt, so on at first is Walling. Here's Glenn Davis, steps to the box. Pitch, and that's a 55, which is going to be a 3-6 home run, but home run on Gooden is a 1, so it's going to be a fly ball left field. Backing up to the track is McReynolds, and he makes the catch. Next up is Kevin Bass with a 53. That's usually a range play. Right fielder A to D. What is Strawberry? That's the question. Strawberry is, I have to print out the chart. He is a right fielder, a D. He's a D in right field, so that'll drop in. It will drop in for a single, and runner will take third base on this. So a range play, a ball that hung up there, and Strawberry looked like he was going to get it, and nothing. Did not reach it, bounced in front of him and almost over his head. And Bass will be on at first. Oh, A to D. And what did I say he was? Wait a second. That was a fifth A to D. And did Strawberry catch that? I thought it was A to C, and Strawberry is a D, so he will make a diving catch, and it looks like he held on to the ball. And they're going to send Walling back. So the umpires originally called it a hit, and suddenly, out of nowhere, another umpire said, oh no, he caught the ball, and Strawberry's insisting he caught it, and the umpires are going to have a conference, and it looks like they're going to call Bass out. So back to first base is Walling. That's a crazy play, folks. A rare play. So Strawberry comes up huge with a clutch catch, and that is going to be 2 outs. And now it's going to bring up Jose Cruz. Pitch to Jose at 21 will be a fly to right again. Strawberry's there, and that retires the side. We are in the bottom of the fifth, and the Astros have a runner at second base. It was a single and a stolen base by Gerald Young. And with nobody out, they're going to bring up Bill Doran. He's bats second today in the lineup for the Houston Astros. Houston Astros were not a good team in 1987. They were 76 and 86. It was Hal Lanier, the manager. Remember to like and subscribe my channel, and please comment on what you think about the game. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about it, I always push guys to step outside their comfort zone and really stimulate their brain, their noggin. Trying to pick up a new game or a new app. It's very, very kind of satisfying and fulfilling to really challenge your brain and overcome those hurdles of learning something new. So here's Bill Doran, pitched by Gooden. That's going to be a 44, and a 44 is a 4-6 walk. Gooden is a 3, so that's no walk. It's a bouncer to the third baseman, to shortstop Santana, who will look Young back to second base. So the G6 runner on second holds. And that's one out now. Denny Walling, the Mets still lead at 4-2. We're in the bottom of the fifth. The Mets with 4-7-1, and the Astros 2-5-0. Denny Walling steps in the box. He's ready to roll. So far today, he's 1 for 1. And Young takes his lead off second base. Here's the pitch from Doc Gooden, and that's going to be a 42, and that's ball 4. So he walks Denny Walling. And that brings up the power hitter, Glenn Davis. And Glenn Davis can really drive the ball. So couldn't better proceed with caution, because he is the go-ahead run here. 1 out, bottom of the fifth, 4-2. Gooden gets a sign from Carter. 2 men on. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a 26, which against the lefty is a single. Gooden, luckily, is a righty, so it's going to be popped up right side. Backman and Hernandez on the outfield grass, and it's Hernandez who calls him off. This is a condensed version of this field day game, just to focus, make it shorter for you, and just to focus a little bit on the highlights and to give you an idea of the mechanics and the smooth gameplay. Kevin Bass steps to the plate. He's a switch hitter, bats from the left side against the righty Gooden. Gooden is still okay here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Gooden for the season has a 4.76 ERA. In reality, he had a 3.21 ERA. He's had good and bad days. He's had great days with shutout pitching, and then he's had days where he's gotten hammered. So that's why but he's only had 8 starts. He was in rehab the first 2 months, and the Mets actually lost first place by 3 games to the Cardinals in 1987. And I feel that if Dwight Gooden would have been around for those 2 months, they would have been much, much closer and possibly won the division. So here's Kevin Bass. Kevin Bass today's 0 for 1 with a walk. Here's the pitch from Gooden, and that's going to be a 43, popped up middle infield. Second baseman Backman calling for it, and he makes the catch that retires the side. So Gooden gets out of predicament here, and we move to the top of the sixth with the Mets leading 4-2. All right, Terry Poole leads off in the bottom of the 7th inning with a single for the Astros. They trail 4-2, and Gooden is still on the mound. Mike Scott has been replaced. It is Gerald Young. Let's look at Gerald Young here quickly. Let's see. He is a good hit and run guy, so I think this is the right time to pull off a hit and run. Let's try and see what happens. I'm going to roll 2d6. It's going to be an 11. Let's see what that means. We're going to look at the chart. Now, there's not a lot of looking up at the chart in this game, which is one aspect that I really, truly, celebrate. Let's see. So a hit and run, 11, an A, it's line, base hit, and runner will advance 2 bases. That's simple. It is what it is. So a line drive, base hit through the hole, and moving to third is Terry Poole. And runners on first and third here. Bill Doran. Doran today's 1 for 3. And Gooden is still good. So Doc will go to work here. Will try to work his way out of this tight situation here. The Mets lead by 4-2, but the Astros have first and third with nobody out. Here is the pitch. The Mets will play back looking for the double play, and it's going to be a 51. That's a potential error on the shortstop. Otherwise, it could be a double play on a 1-3. So we want to avoid the error, and we're going to find out what that error is. It's a 25. So 25 or less will be an error, and it's a 25. That's booted by the shortstop, Santana. That's, I think, his second error of the game, by the way. I believe so, and that will score a run. Didn't the other error also score a run? So that is an error on Santana, his second one of the day, and that puts runners on first and second with nobody out, and up comes Denny Walling. So this is a stressful inning for Gooden. Here's a pitch, and that's a 22, which will be a hard hit ground ball right at Hernandez. He goes to Santana for one, back to first, double play. Big, huge defensive play by the Mets. It's a 3-6-3 double play. And that's 2 outs with a runner on third. Now Young moves to third, and it's going to be Glenn Davis against Doc Gooden. He's minimizing the damage. If he can get out of this one, he's minimized the damage with first and third and nobody out, and then first and second and nobody out. And the Mets up by 1 right now, so Gooden needs to reach back for a little extra against Glenn Davis. Here's the pitch, and that's a 25, which leads us to up to a 33 will be. So up to a 14 is a triple, up to 33 is a home run. Sorry, a hit by pitch, excuse me. So let's hope for the Mets' sake, that we roll 34 and up, and that's a 62, which will be lined and ripped and caught by Johnson at third base to end the inning. So the Mets hold on to that 1-run lead, barely, and we move to the top of the 8th inning. Darryl Strawberry. And McReynolds up, and here's the pitch by Anderson, and he drives one. That's in the gap. That's going to fall in there. One hop to the wall, digging for second as McReynolds. In comes the throw, and he is safe with a double. Kevin McReynolds here with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Gets himself into scoring position for Howard Johnson. And the pitch to Howard Johnson, a 65, which will be a swing and a miss. Got him with the curve. And that is out number 2. And up comes Santana. Now, if we walk Santana, they will pull. Speaking from a Astros perspective, if we walk Santana, they will pull the pitcher Gooden for a pinch hitter. Otherwise, they may allow him to pitch the 8th inning. So what do we want to do here? We will have to face a lefty. It'll probably be Dykstra, and then we can go to lefty in the bullpen too. So that's a whole scenario here. Let's do that. Do we intentionally walk Santana? Did he have any intentional walks during the season? Yeah, he actually had 10 intentional walks. So it makes perfect sense to walk him here. So we're going to do that. IBB, he will walk intentionally, and that'll bring up Gooden. And it looks like they're going to call Gooden back, and they're going to send up a pinch hitter, so Gooden's day will be over. Had a good day. He only allowed 3 runs, but I believe that only 1 was earned. So let's see, and allowed 7 hits. So let's call on a pinch hitter here. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a lefty. If we bring in, Dykstra is playing, so it's got to be Mazzilli a switch hitter or Mookie Wilson a switch hitter. So we're going to call on Mookie Wilson to pinch hit the Mook. And he's having an excellent season. Mookie Wilson's batting .354 so far in 200 at-bats. So he's been on fire in the 87 replay. So runners on first and third, 2 out. Anderson, the righty, will face the switch hitter Wilson, and Anderson is we're gonna keep him in there. And here's the pitch, and that's going to be a 23. That's a swing and a miss. Heat gets him, the high heat, and Wilson strikes out, and that ends the inning. So we go to the top of the ninth. The Mets will have a new pitcher. I'm sorry, the bottom of the eighth, excuse me. Mets will have a new pitcher. And who are we going to go with here? Let's see what we got available. Thank goodness for this helper. Digital Diamond Baseball allows me to really be aware of where my pitchers stand in terms of, endurance and so on. So I'm going to go, who's still leading off? It's going to be a switch hitter, Bass, I believe. Bass, Anderson, we'll see a pinch hitter, and then Ashby. We've been using Orozco a lot, and we're going to continue to use Orozco. Let's see what he can do for us here. All right, so Orozco's in there. We need him to come up big. He's really failed us throughout the season. Has a terrible ERA. Every time he comes in, he loads the bases, but we got to keep on hoping that he'll find his rhythm. All right, so he will be facing Kevin Bass. Bass today. Bass had a spectacular day in yesterday's game. I think he was 4 for 4. Today he's 0 for 2 with a walk. He will be facing Orozco. Orozco is 4.316. So 4 is the hits, 3 is the walks, 1 is the home runs, and 6 are the Ks. Here's Kevin Bass, the pitch, and that's going to be a 22, which will be bounced to third, scooped up by Johnson. Strong throw to first in time, 1 away. And Anderson, the pitcher, will be a pinch hitter coming in for Anderson here. Let's see where he is. Anderson. There he is. Pinch hit. Okay, so we click on pinch hit, and that is going to bring up somebody who we're going to go with. Let's see what we got on the bench. Then we have to pull somebody out for pitching as well. All right, here we are in the bottom of the ninth. We will be facing, leading off for the Astros is Craig Reynolds, the shortstop, followed by Terry Poole, and then the top of the order, Gerald Perry, I believe it was. I believe that's his name, right? Gerald Young. Gerald Perry, I believe, is with the Braves. Okay, so let's, Orozco's still on the mound for the Mets. Mets in the outfield are McReynolds, Dykstra in center, Strawberry in right. And around the infield is Johnson at third, Santana at short, Backman at second, Hernandez at first, Carter behind the plate. It is 4-3, bottom of the ninth. The Mets are 4-12-2, while the Astros are 3-7-0. And here's the pitch to Craig Reynolds, who's 1 for 3 today with a triple and an RBI, and that's going to be a 14, which will be bounced to short. Santana charges, fires the first in time. 1 down. So Orozco, the manager's giving Orozco the trust to pick up a save here. He's really struggled throughout the season. In 36 innings pitched, has a 7.61 ERA. We're hoping that turns around. So Terry Poole now. Poole is 1 for 1 and a run scored. Here is the pitch, and that's going to be a 51, which is a possible error by the pitcher. So his error rating is going to be at 51. It's going to be no error rating there. So he did not make an error on the season, so it's going to be a ground ball right back to Orozco over to first in time. So the Astros are down to the last out here, and Orozco is 1 out away from picking up a save. In the sim, he does have 3 saves. In actuality, he had 16 with a 4.50 ERA. So hopefully he can begin to redeem himself a little bit here. It is Gerald Young. Gerald Young today is 3 for 4 with a stolen base. So he's been smacking the ball. So here's the pitch from Jesse Orozco, and a 16 will be a bounce to second base, and that'll do it. Backman sidearms it to first. And that's the ball game, folks. So the Mets win it by a score of 4-3. Gooden will pick up the victory. And that's it. It's final score. You can put this one in the books. Of final score is 4-3. So I will save and exit, and I'll look at the box score quickly here and give you a summary of what was what in that box score. So let's see here. Where's the box score for us? There it is. All right. So let's look at that. So the Kevin McReynolds is the star of the game. He went 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 2 RBIs. They don't say anything about Gooden's performance. Let's look at Gooden. Gooden was he picks up the win. He's 2-4 now. Went 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned. Lowered his ERA to 4.50. 3 walks and only had 1 strikeout today. But Jesse Orozco picked up his 4th save. And Scott takes the loss. He's 8-10. Went 6 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, but 12 strikeouts. So Scott was striking out everybody on the Mets, while Gooden really struggled to pick up those Ks. For the Mets, anything else I want to mention? 2 hits by Santana, 2 for 4. He continues to hit, batting .290. Gooden went 1 for 3. And but Backman went 3 for 5. So Backman, and who raised his average to .223, he's been struggling throughout the season. Has been out for about a month with an injury, and now it's and also McReynolds, of course, raised his average to .280 with a 3 for 4 day. That home run was McReynolds' 11th of the season. His 2 RBIs brought him to 44 for the season. Stolen bases, Dykstra his 13th, Strawberry his 8th. Error, Santana 2. He's got 8 total. And that's about it. This is Tony Porter. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel and comment. Let me know what you think. And it's always appreciated, and I will get back to you. Take care. Hasta la vista.